Did the surgery work? I don't know. I flew over 7 hours for one-hour doctor's appointment, so let's get into it. I was recently diagnosed with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos, and one of my symptoms is that I have very hypermobile joints. So my hips are hypermobile, my shoulders, my hands, my ankles, my knees. Let me wash my face. During the pandemic, when I was going to the gym 5 or 6 times a week, I was lifting really heavy. I ended up injuring my right hip and I tore the labrum in my right hip. Now, I got MRIs, I did physical therapy, I saw 6 different doctors, 6 different surgeons, all up and down California, and no one would perform my surgery. It takes a really skilled surgeon once you open up the hip, especially a hypermobile hip. And I also have a slight hip dysplasia, so that causes some issues too. But it takes a really skilled surgeon to go into that, and no one was willing to touch my hips. So I just suffered in pain from 2021 up until last year, until I went back to the Mayo Clinic where I was already an established patient. They had diagnosed me at their dysautonomia clinic with autonomic dysfunction and POTS when I was in high school. So I found a surgeon there, and I was so lucky that he decided that he would do my surgery. Exactly a year ago, I flew from Colorado, because I was at her wedding, to Minnesota, and I had outpatient hip surgery. Did the surgery work? I don't know. Labrum in my joint feels a lot better, and that's great. Because my hip is hypermobile, my hip flexor will not release. It's constantly clamped down, and everyone has told me to try dry needling, but in the state of California, they do not offer dry needling, so I am SOL on that front. And no one told me that as a hypermobile person or someone with HEDS, that I was gonna need to have a slew of orthopedic surgeons and all of that on standby, because now I'm having an injured shoulder and they think I tore the labrum in my shoulder. I graduated from the hip doctor, doing physical therapy for a year. I'm in Pilates. It's frustrating because I'm doing all the right things, and I guess this hip flexor problem just happens to some people, especially women, especially hypermobile gals. But he said, tight is strong, strong is stable. And that's what we need to listen to. So I'd love to hear about your experiences if you have hypermobility and you've had any sort of orthopedic surgery, because now it looks like I've had my first one and it's not going to be my last.